Hi guys, welcome back to Glittery Crystals. I am thrilled to show you how I made this tumbler. I am obsessed with it currently. It's super cold outside. It's 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Super cold. The temperatures are going to drop even more. But I had to show you the sparkle of this tumbler. Once you have it in front of you in person, it sparkles 10 times more. But I just had to show you how beautifully it sparkled with the snow as a background. I'm just obsessed with this cup. And let's get to it. I want you to see how easy it is to make it. I started by applying 2 coats of my glitter. I am using the glitter pink from our collection. I will leave the link down below. I did not spray paint this tumbler. It's 2 coats on plain stainless steel cup. After I applied the second coat, I did epoxy the glitter and it's smooth. And yes, you want it as smooth as possible before you continue with the next step. These are the 3 acrylic paints that I will be using for the dirty pour. And I will be adding each separately. We will be mixing a small amount of water to each cup. We want to elevate the cup a little bit, just a tiny bit, so the acrylic paint can drip to the floor or to the surface. I am using this plastic cup where I will be mixing or adding the 3 colors and they will be mixing by themselves. I will not be stirring this cup at all. So I'm just going back and forth with applying black, white, gray, white. Once we have it ready, we will just pour it on top of the cup and let it drip. Let it do its thing. It's gonna just let gravity pull the acrylic paint to the bottom. And make sure to use every single drop. You will see here in a minute that I am using my stick to guide the excess acrylic paint to the areas that I need a bit more coverage. You can just play around with it. You decide how much of a cup you want exposed and how much you don't. At this point, I want most of it covered because the next step will be removing it. So I want to have it all covered before we continue to the next step. After I had let it dry for a full night, this is how it looks. I love sort of the crackle effect that it gave itself. I will be using this acetone, 100% acetone, to remove the acrylic paint from the areas that I don't want it. So I will be just rubbing it. It's so simple to do this step. It's very easy. It is time consuming, but you do need to be changing your napkins ever so often because you do not want to keep scraping the acrylic paint because you will be smearing it all over where the exposed glitter is. So you do need to be changing your napkin constantly. But you will be doing the step, you're going to be going back and forth, trying to remove as much or as little as you want exposed. And this is how it's looking. I wanted some of that glitter to show on the rim, so I will be using again the acetone and some napkin to go back and forth to give it this distressed look to the rim. Now we will epoxy the entire cup, and after it has cured, this is how it's supposed to be looking. If you feel that you need a second coat of epoxy, go ahead and do that. Before you apply the second coat, make sure to sand the areas that need sanding, especially on the handle. If your tumbler has a handle like mine, make sure that you sand a little bit and then apply a second coat of epoxy before continuing. This is the decal that I will be using. I will also leave in the description down below the link to the font that I am using. Before I apply my vinyl, I will sand the areas that still need a little bit of help, and I will be using my 91% rubbing alcohol to remove any of that dust that I sanded down. So once I have the vinyl in the position that I want it, I will be removing the vinyl in sections. That way I can ensure that my vinyl sticks exactly to where I want it to stick. So make sure that it's very well rubbed in. Look at how pretty it's looking already. Now I wanted to add a few hearts to this cup to give it this Valentine's Day effect. And I just love hearts. I love anything girly. So I think it gives it a nice touch to the tumbler. After I had applied my vinyl, I will be using Quick Coat from CC DIY. By applying this quick coat, I am making sure that my vinyl sticks to the cup and does not lift whenever I apply my epoxy. It helps reduce the chances of the vinyl lifting. So that's why I'm applying this quick coat to my cup. After I have done applying it, I will let it fully dry for about 30 minutes. I will be using Rainbow Opal Additive, and I will be applying it directly to my epoxy to give it this extra sparkle. A little goes a long way, but I really wanted my tumbler to sparkle. I love using this additive. I'm obsessed with it. I want to add it to every single cup if I could. I just love it. Currently, we have it sold out, but we will be restocking very soon, so keep an eye on that. We will be epoxying the entire tumbler, making sure everything has been fully coated. We will let it, after we have epoxied, we will let it spin for 6 hours and let it rest for an additional 6 hours, 12 hours total. So this is how it's looking. It is a little rough on the handle. Now I will be using my sanding paper to sand it again, give it, some sanding, making sure that I sand only the areas that need sanding. I do not want to sand the entire cup roughly. I just want to sand the areas that need that help. And again, go back with my rubbing alcohol and remove all of that sanding dust. Now I am applying the last coat of epoxy. At this point, I am not adding anything to the epoxy. We have already added the additive to the previous coat. And right now I'm just adding a thin coat of epoxy just to seal everything and seal everything that we sanded down. After we have epoxied, once again, let it spin for 6 hours, let it set for an additional 6 hours, and before you use it, make sure it sits for 3 days till it's fully cured, depending on the epoxy you're using. But I let it sit for at least 3 days, and once I'm ready to use my cup, I will wash it very well from the inside and from the outside. Make sure there's no epoxy on the inside of the cup. And this is how it turns out. I am in love with it. I love, love, love the sparkle that this additive gives to the cup. And let's talk about the pink glitter. How beautiful is this pink glitter? I'm just in love with the cup itself, this is my new obsession. You sort of got that glimpse of sparkle with the camera shift. But I'm in love with it. I hope you love this tumbler as well. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so as well. Give us your comments, give us your likes, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye bye.